Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Rosmo. Okay, hear me out before anything else. I know this series is about animated movies and series, but I needed to make an exception with this one. I just had to make a video on this so badly because I just finished reading it and I'm magnetized to my screen wanting to talk about this. I'm making the script now as I go. So for those unaware, this series I'll be talking about today is titled My Deepest Secret. Now, My Deepest Secret is a thriller mystery webtoon made by Hansa Art. It's a completed series with 101 episodes and you can go check it out on Webtoon, which I really recommend you doing it since it is fantastic. Now, before you head further in my opinions about the series, full spoilers for this video. So I urge you to not continue if you haven't read it. The plot is the biggest charm of the series, so I dare not ruin the experience for you. Anyway, caught up? Awesome! Let's talk about it now. Since this time we're talking about a webtoon, let's split it into story, art, and then the characters. And also, a last part at the end where I fangirl about Johan. Can I do that? Okay, thanks. I'm doing it. Now, where do I start with this story? I'll admit Webtoon never caught my interest, but My Deepest Secret's first chapter just grabbed me by the balls and just dragged me in for the ride, you know?
There's gotta be a better phrase for that.
The first chapter of Emma and Elias and the tiny cat shows exactly what you're in for in the story, and yet shows exactly nothing of what's to come. When I saw how her boyfriend killed the cat just because it scratched her, I was invested. I wanted to know how the girl would survive this crazy boyfriend, or how the boyfriend would deal with things and all those questions. But as a reader of this series yourself, you know that this show just dragged us into all sorts of curves. So many plot twists, so many layers. It felt like the story was planned from the beginning, and all the twists never felt forced to me. The twists was never out of the blue. It was always there from the start, but we would never have seen it coming. And instead of slowly feeding us clues to make us figure out for ourselves, My Deepest Secret gives you crumbs, and then before you can even speculate, they smack the whole thing in your face. And you're just left dumbfounded, and you can't believe what just happened. The mystery keeps you on your feet and never fails to be boring or predictable. But at the same time, it never feels like an ass pull. All the twists make sense, and that's hard to pull off in multitudes. But My Deepest Secret manages to do that. Along with the awesome and thrilling story, the interactions of the characters are great. It feels organic, some dialogues not as natural as you'd expect, but that's okay. The comedy aspect of the series is something I absolutely cherish. I love the scenario-based jokes and the weird parody brand names. I don't know why, but the part where Johan decides to be an artist was funny to me. Not because he's bad at drawing. No, he's great. That's why when he said that, I was so happy for the character. He wants to be a comic artist, and I don't know why I didn't see it coming, but when he pulled up his phone saying he found a site to start the career, he pulled up Webtoon. I mean, of course, why didn't I see that joke coming from 5 feet away, going to me in 60 miles per hour? I lost it at that joke, like all the other funny moments sprinkled in the series. They all land somehow, and it's just a great contrast to the dark plot of the story. The story all in all is dramatic and heavy, but also has its fair share of wholesome, cute, and funny moments that balances everything out in the whole grand scheme of things. I talk about this like it's a masterpiece of a creation, but it's not. It's a piece of art. I absolutely appreciate it for what it is so much. I'm not saying it's not a masterpiece like it's a bad thing. On the contrary, it's not a hyped up boss fight or a political statement or anything. It's just an amazing story that never fails to surprise you and makes you wonder and think, especially when you consider the ending of the story. It's bittersweet. It gives justice to the characters, and I think it's perfect. It's artistic in a way wherein you can see the beauty and ugliness in each character, and yet you can't hate any of them because everyone was fleshed out nicely. Even the side characters like Nura or Hannah or Sophie get some time to shine in small moments of the story. I can even say, dare I say it, it's almost at the same level of ending like Code Geass. Whoa, okay, hold on. Before you get triggered in the comments, let me explain. What I mean by that is because they share a lot of similarities, not in the specifics of the ending, but how they contribute to their story. Both wrap up their story nicely, leaving you in awe as you close the chapter of the narrative. It doesn't excuse the actions or absolve the main character of their crimes just because they're the MC, and it leaves a small part of the ending open-ended. You have a clear idea on who's riding with CC or who's visiting Emma, but they never show it, so you could be wrong or you could be right. Who knows? After a hand-fisted shocker of an ending, you have this mundane, simple conclusion, and I think that's what everybody needed in the series. Emma is happy in her own personal kind of ending, and not forced into a cliche of being with Johan just because the fans wanted to. So I admire Hansa for not pushing any ship on Johan or Emma, even if a lot of fans wanted it, including me, I'll be honest. But I truly do think this ending was just amazing. It wrapped everything up in a logical, simple, but satisfying way. It's great. It's so great. Next, we talk about the art, which... do I have anything else to say? I love the art. It's great. It's so pretty, and each panel, you can really feel the effort they put into it. I never got to continue making comics because drawing each panel and pose was really frustrating to me personally. And to see all these well-drawn and colored panels is just a sight for sore eyes. Some backgrounds weren't as detailed, but it gets the point across to the audience where the scene takes place. I also appreciate the little details they have on the character designs, like how Elias has muscles, you know, the generic type of 2D anime boy everybody loves, the Ikemen. And yet Johan is very skinny, and it's obvious, especially at the end where they both go to the beach. No muscles, no abs, you can see his thin arms and rib cage, and yet he's basically the best boy in the series. Hell, that's even written on the cap in an official art that will be my wallpaper until the end of time, okay? The difference in body types, I appreciate it, since it also makes sense character-wise why Johan would be skinny. Then, the characters. Now, every single character here is complex and doesn't feel flat or just a plot device at all. What do I mean by that? I don't mean that they had good intentions but society pushed them, or I can understand why they did bad things and I get their motivation. Well, I mean, yeah, that's part of it, but I want to point out what I noticed, which is that some personalities of each person has contradictions that make them more realistic and complex. Take, for example, Farah. She's been shown to be a brave person who stands up for good against anyone. She's courageous, but she's also cowardly when it comes to personal problems, like her insecurity with Elias. Instead of facing it, she runs away from it. It contradicts, but it makes sense because people have contradictory traits, but just in different aspects of life. Just because one person is brave and tough doesn't mean they are like that in every situation in their life. Johan is shown to be kind-hearted with people, but manipulative when he wants something and can drag strangers into his dangerous plans. Isn't that fun? There's so much layers. You think you know a character, but then they just surprise you because you learn something new about them that doesn't seem like an ass pull just for the plot. The things you learn about the character still fits their personality and don't go against the character they've been established in the start. It makes sense, and I hope I'm getting my point across because I don't know and I'm not sure if I did, but I hope you do get what I'm saying. But yeah, all in all, this webtoon is just really good. This is the kind of series where when the author says it was planned from the beginning, you believe them. They didn't even have to say it. It's painfully obvious that everything was planned from the start, and that's what makes it amazing. Thanks so much, Hansa, for allowing me to review this and using pictures from the webtoon. I appreciate it. This will be forever in my list of favorite stories. Now for the last part, which is basically just a Johan appreciation segment. I think I speak for most readers when I say that Johan is best boy. I just love him. And before you call me a simp, hold your horses, because I want to tell you, I am, and I know it. I mean, look at him! He's such a dork, but at the same time, he's so cool and witty. And as much as I like muscles and fitness, seeing him all skinny was a surprise, and I freaking love it. He's also shy whenever Emma makes a move on him in the beach scene. Isn't that just damn cute? And when he grew up, guys, look at this half pony. You think he was hot here? Well, think again. This is the biggest plot twist in the whole series. From hot to hotter. Ang init-init na nga dito sa Pinas. Dadagdag ka pa. Oh, sangginala. Tuloy mo lang. Okay, I'll admit I was super happy to see Elias as an adult running a business with Farah, but Johan though, just look at him. Every shot is just a blessing from the Lord. I'm gonna cry. I love him. My goodness. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all the fangirling I wanted to let out. I think I just threw logical thinking and my entire brain out of the window just for that segment. Sorry. I don't really review or read webtoons at all, so this Ever Heard Of episode is just an exception. I just really wanted to let others know about this webtoon. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. The next movie I'm gonna be reviewing was requested by my patron, Amanda, which is Princess Mononoke. See you there. So yeah. A big ol' shout out to my patrons in the Butternut tier, Amanda Rona Idenge, Kyle Chua, Christian V, and Cross. And thank you to every single one of my patrons. I can keep doing what I'm doing because of you, and I appreciate it so much.